Hi, I'm Chef Ann Burrell, and today we are making frittatas, spaghetti carbonara frittatas. Like what? All right, first of all, let's talk about what is a frittata. Well, it's like an open-faced omelet. So we start off in a saute pan, just like we do with a regular omelet. We do it a little bit thicker, and it's wide and flat, and we finish this baby in the oven, and that's how we serve it. Spaghetti carbonara, everyone's like, wait a minute. That's a pasta dish, right? So carbonara is spaghetti. It is pancetta, or guanciale pancetta, Italian bacon, and it's eggs and pasta and cheese. So what we're doing with this is we're flipping the script and we're using lots of eggs and less pasta to make it sort of an omelet or a frittata. So pancetta, let's talk about what this is. Italian bacon. Well, pancetta and regular bacon that we know bacon is all pork belly. Hello, my beautiful belly. So regular American bacon has been smoked. It is you can smell bacon, it smells smoky. Pancetta is also pork belly. It has just not been smoked. They have both been cured, pancetta not smoked. And you're like, well, why is it round? Well, if we unroll it, it looks just like a regular piece of bacon, doesn't it? Oh, there we go. It just doesn't have the smoky flavor. So in a pinch, if you don't have pancetta and you want to make this carbonara frittata, go ahead and use regular bacon. It just has a little bit of a flavor difference. That's all. So we're going to dice this guy into about 1/4-inch dices. So look at, anytime we're thinking about knife cuts, we're thinking about uniformity. Why? Because size does matter. Because we want all of this pancetta to cook at the same speed. We hold our knife like this, pinch it between our thumb and forefinger, and 3 fingers down like this. So you are the most in control of your knife and the most agile with it. And we think slices, we could do everyone into slices. All right, all the slices are the same size. And then we take those slices, we cut them into sticks, and then we take those sticks and we cut them into dices. So it's like the motion of the ocean. Look at that. Hello, beautiful. And all of our dices are the same size. Very, very important. All right. So I have about 4 ounces of pancetta here. I have 6 eggs, and I have about a 1/2 pound of cooked spaghetti. This is a great way, like if you had spaghetti for dinner last night and you have some leftover spaghetti, this is a great use for it. You're like, wait, spaghetti in an omelet? Well, you know, you put potatoes in an omelet sometimes. What's the difference with the starch, huh? I mean, and it has the same flavor profile as a dish of spaghetti alla carbonara, one of my absolute favorites. Dices, all right. Now, we're going to take this pancetta, we're going to throw it into a saute pan, and with a little bit of olive oil. That's what I like to call a little bit of an encouragement. But we're going to start crisping up the bacon and rendering it. That means we're going to kind of melt the fat out of the bacon. Does that mean that we can make fat-free pancetta? I wish. No, it just means that a lot of the fat is going to render out of this. It's going to melt out of this. But then we can use that pancetta fat to make the rest of our omelet. It just tastes delicious. So here we go. All right, a little bit of olive oil. All right, so we're going to let our pancetta get really nice and brown and crispy. and we're gonna save the fat that comes out of it as well. Now, our frittata, we're gonna start cooking on the stovetop. We're gonna finish it in the oven. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. I'm gonna wash my cutting board that has a little pancetta on it. Man, does it smell good. All right, so we have 6 eggs. So 4 ounces of pancetta and 6 eggs, 3/4 of a cup of Pecorino cheese, and I have some chives for garnish. And I have about a half a pound of cooked spaghetti. This is enough to make 2 frittatas. If you're really starving, you could probably eat one all by yourself. Otherwise, I might say 1 frittata might feed 2 people. All right, 6 eggs, 3/4 of a cup of Pecorino cheese. Pecorino cheese, by the way, is a sheep's milk cheese. It's salty, it's tangy, it's gamey, it's delicious. If you can't find Pecorino, Parmigiano works just as well. That's a cow's milk cheese. It's a little saltier and it's a little nuttier, not quite so tangy. They both work beautifully. All right, so if we can see what's going on here already, look at it, I'm starting to get a lot of fat melting out of there. This is good stuff. We want that in our frittata because it tastes delicious. Yum. All right, I'm gonna beat these guys up to a homogeneous mixture. If you don't wanna get out the big machinery, a whisk works just as well. I just like this guy. Boom, done. So this makes a great breakfast. It's also a great quick and easy dinner. I mean, you could also make a frittata. I mean, they're great when they're hot, but they're also great at room temperature. So if you wanted to make something like this and cut it up into small bites with a little toothpick in it as an hors d'oeuvre or something like that at a cocktail party, I mean, eggs are cheap. Everyone has them. Pasta is cheap. Bacon or pancetta you can find all over the place. And we're just going to dice some chives, mince some chives very finely for a little bit of a garnish. That's it. Only a few ingredients. It's quick, it's easy, and it's delicious. You will be a rock star if you make this for anyone at any time of day. I mean, if you make it for yourself and you'll tell yourself you're a rock star. There we go. Very little mise en place, very little prep work to do with this guy, and so that means also very little cleanup. We like that a lot. So I have this going on a pretty low heat, but now that I see lots of fat has rendered out of my pancetta, I'm gonna go ahead and crank up the burner a little bit so we can get to where it's time to eat, right? I mean, let's have fun doing this. We all love to cook, but I like to eat more. So we want to get these guys nice and brown and crispy. Don't rush this though. Take a little time with it. I mean, sometimes things take a little bit of time in the kitchen. This will probably, I mean, all told, take 8 to 10 minutes. That's okay. You want to be a rock star in your kitchen, I tell you, cook some bacon, because anytime anyone smells bacon cooking, they're like, what's that? I'm hungry. Or saute onions and garlic. It doesn't matter if you're the worst cook in America. If you cook onions and garlic, people will be like, what are you making? I'm hungry. It smells good. All right, we're almost ready with this, but not quite. Woo! Sometimes that happens too. It's okay. Just try to stay out of the way. It's amazing all the fat that has rendered out of our pancetta. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take about half of this fat out. Because remember what I said, this is enough for 2 frittatas. So I'm gonna take a little bit out right now. And I'm just gonna let the rest of this bacon really crisp up here and get nice and brown and crispy. This is not a step that you want to rush on because nobody likes flaccid bacon. Nobody likes bacon that's like, meow. We like crispy brown bacon. Why? Brown food tastes good. So my pancetta is looking really nice and crispy. So I'm going to take half of this out. All right, the other half we're gonna leave in there. We're gonna set this aside for this second frittata that we're gonna do. Remember what I said, this is enough for 2 frittatas. I'm gonna take half of my cooked spaghetti, gonna toss it in there. All right, get everybody mixed together nicely. All right, you really want that pancetta to be like all throughout the spaghetti, and then we're gonna take half of our eggs. So let's just give them a little stir. Make sure all the cheese is mixed all the way through and not just sitting on the bottom. All right, half of our egg mixture. Pour it in there. Well, here we go. So we get everybody stirred around. All right, see that, get it all mixed together nicely. The pancetta is evenly distributed. The pasta's all in there. All right, and once we see the edges start to set a little bit, see, we see that? We're gonna toss this guy in our preheated oven, 350 degrees for about 4 to 5 minutes. Till the eggs are cooked through. And then we have enough mise en place to do the whole thing over again. So we have enough for 2 for breakfast or for 4. Depends on what kind of eaters you are. All right, look at that. This frittata is cooked perfectly. It's cooked all the way through. It's got no color on it. Here, we can, if we want to do a little, see if we can do a little flipper. Can we? Yeah, look at that. Hello, beautiful. All right. So, right out on the plate. And we're gonna use the rest of our mise en place to build one more frittata. So we have our, woo, that's a hot handle. Don't forget that. That only takes you to do that once. Always grab your handle with a pan that just came out of the oven with some sort of something. All right, so we have our pancetta that was rendered and crispy. We have our pasta. Let's get everybody nice and hot here. All right, all that pancetta really distributed evenly throughout the pasta. Have our eggs and cheese mixture. Okay. Mix around so everybody's really nicely combined. And we let our eggs start to cook. Once we see them start to cook and slightly pull away from the edge of the pan, we know we are ready to toss this guy in the oven. So, saying, all right, yep, there we go. Now, we'll see this guy in about 4 to 5 minutes. Meanwhile, we're gonna turn our attention over to this beautifulness. So I'm just gonna top with a little bit of chives. Look at that, hello. It's brekkie time for me. Yes, hello. This is my happy carbonara dance. It's delicious, it's easy, it's really economical to make, and it's a huge crowd pleaser. Yeah.